let's discuss. We have Paul Rieckhoff, the founder and CEO of the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. Always good to see you, big brother.
See you. Good morning.
So, first of all, before all this, and then we'll get to this, was Ronny Jackson somebody who was checking the boxes for the people in your organization?
No. I think that's important. Before this drama unfolded, we started a poll to find out how our members felt about it. And we ended it yesterday morning before this news started to fall out. And only about 29% of them support him. They're worried about his lack of qualifications. They don't know him. He doesn't have the management experience that we come to expect from someone who would handle the second largest bureaucracy in America. So he was already facing an uphill battle. We were looking forward to rigorous confirmation hearings and find out more about him. And now the last 48 hours has unfolded. So here we are again. It's chaos again after years of chaos at the VA. This will be the 7th nominee for VA secretary since 9/11. The 7th. So it's just this constant tumult, leadership changes, drama. You know, I've been on CNN for the last 10 years talking about drama at the VA. And it's taking its toll on our veterans, on the employees of the VA, and on our national security. Like right now, troops are watching overseas, and they don't know who they're going to come home to at the VA, what they're going to come home to at the VA. This is bigger than politics. Like this is a conscience-calling moment for America to think about how all this drama in Washington is now overflowing into the men and women in uniform.
Does the IAVA take an official position for or against Jackson?
No, we're letting our members speak for themselves, and you'll see a diversity of opinions in that poll, and they're politically diverse. You know, they were all going to tune in on Wednesday and see what happens, and they're really looking for people to hold them accountable. I got to make a point that the chair and the ranking member of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, Isaacson and Tester, are good guys. They're good guys. They're not partisans. They've been really rigorous in this process. I think Jackson's going to get a fair shake. And these guys have been really kind of a voice of an oasis of tranquility almost and bipartisanship in the Senate over the last couple of years. So we've got two good guys in front that I think can take us through these tough waters.
So where's your head on these current questions? Is this a situation where, hey, the Obama administration liked this man. They said that he should stay in this position. He's really good. So that's on them if there are any real questions versus the Trump administration consistently fails to vet the people they're going to put in big positions of power. They should have known about these allegations, whether they're true or not, and been ready to rebut them right away.
You know, you're ultimately responsible for the pick you put forward, right? I mean, if this was happening when Obama was president, obviously we should all be concerned. I have no idea if these allegations are true. I think most folks are trying to get to the bottom of it. But the president's responsible for the nominee that he puts forward. He's got to vet that person. He's got to make sure that that person is capable of handling the lives of our men and women in uniform coming home from combat. So it's ultimately always on the commander-in-chief, whoever it is. The commander-in-chief is responsible for everything he does and everything he fails to do. That's leadership. And he's really got to step forward now. For him to say, hey, it's up to Jackson, that's passing the buck. The commander-in-chief's got to take this on, and he's got to make a decision about what he's going to do in the next couple of days.
What do you think the right call is? Do you think the guy is too damaged?
I think he's got to stop. Like you know, we were here a couple weeks ago talking about Shulkin. We still don't even know if he fired or resigned. Like we're still debating that drama, and now we're unfolding into a new drama. So they got to stop the bleeding. Like they got to create some stability. There are hundreds of thousands of people who work at the VA who are trying to do really important work, and they don't know who their boss is. How does that affect hiring and recruiting and everything else that we're trying to do at an agency that has a footprint in almost every community in America? This is a big deal, and you can't just pass the buck on a big decision like that.
Now, often, I don't know if you monitor the IAVA thread on Twitter, but you should. Paul and his constituents, his members, they're very active in terms of what matters. And you often send me notes saying, you know, you're following this over here. You say you care about the veterans. You should be talking about this. Yeah. What's on the plate in front of you guys right now in terms of what you need that's not being addressed?
I think what I'm hearing from our members a lot this week is suicide. We've been talking about that for years. Most folks have heard the number. We're losing 20 men and women to suicide every day. I posted a link on Twitter before I walked out here because I wanted to give people kind of a perspective on what's not being talked about. Veterans have died from suicide in the parking lot of VAs. Veterans have walked into VA parking lots and taken their own life, in part because they're making a statement, right? Because they're calling out for help. They're asking folks for the mental health care we haven't been provided. That is what's happening in the midst of all this drama. That's what's being forgotten in the midst of all this drama. So we're literally losing our brothers and sisters while politicians are squabbling over what seems like nonsense.
Paul Rieckhoff, we always say, nobody matters more. You've put your lives on the line to secure our freedoms. Those words are empty. If
they say that a lot in Washington. Now we're going to find out for real.
Well, look, big brother, it's always good to have you.
Thank you
very much
Appreciate
for your service and
you.
for keeping us straight on the coverage.